Man, we are speeding up though. I think it might be best that I deploy this thing soon. Man, we're coming in fast. Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. Oh, we're gonna need to do it. Why, hello there. Welcome to Kevin's Kerbal Space Center for Kerbasnauts. Today we're going to, I guess, do what you're supposed to do and complete some missions, do some science. Since our last episode in part 2, I have put like 5 more crews through Kerbanaut training. We did it without losing anybody. We did have a couple close calls for Crew 6. They did hit the top of the Airbus, or whatever you want to call it, the Kerbal C-130, and lost their drogue chute, but thankfully the main chutes were radially strapped, so they survived and passed. And then during a Crew 9 mission with the R-Wing, he went a little too crazy on the takeoff there and did a little loop-de-de-loop, but instead of hitting the ground, they just took to the skies. So no Kerbal was lost in that mission either. And so now we have a few more Kerbasnauts to play with. So let's get into mission control and do a mission. We are actually going to leave the atmosphere now. Our first time going to space. Someone left an anonymous note that our launch wasn't a success. And I think she's referring to the 10,000 click launch that we lost Jeb on. So really it wasn't a success. But let's make it undeniable. Mission, let's track mission brief. Launch a rocket from Kerbin and achieve an altitude greater than 70 clicks is the Kerbin line, the Karman line. Hi, Director Kev, you're just in time. We're in the middle of a crisis. Oh no. Someone left a rude sticky note on the staff fridge beside the poll for best vending machine on campus. It began, was the first launch really a success? Well, that's debatable. The sentiment was mostly positive, but the writer, whose identity I will track down, ended on a harsh note. Vessel didn't punch past the atmosphere, which is true. Wasn't Batical enough. Batical? Now why is that tone so irritatingly familiar? Good thing I always carry an ultraviolet flashlight, because the writer somehow fit a second message in invisible ink. It said, if mission control punches through the atmosphere and into space, I'll buy them 3 coffee makers. Well, we accept their challenge, the perfect mission objective. Your objective is to launch a rocket from Kerbin and fly higher than 70,000 meters. As tempting as it would be to go through the atmosphere, we must make sure we're not planning an escape for Mr. or Mrs. Note Writer. Get out there and get those coffee makers. I'm going to get an intern to track down the sticky note culprit. Good luck in return when your report is ready to be submitted. Over and out. So on to the VAB we go, because we only have 12 science, and I'm gonna save what we have for a hot minute. Okay, so all we need to do is build a small rocket that will punch us out of Kerbin's atmosphere. So we need a capsule, and we definitely need a chute. Balls and these chutes. Okay, let's go ahead and adjust the deploy settings. Minimum pressure, we'll go 60 this time. We lost Jeb at 75 for some reason. I still haven't figured out why we lost Jeb. It's a mystery. Apparently Jeb wanted to die. And we'll deploy at 650. Alright. Now, we're still not going very high, but for the sake of, life, we're going to strap a heat shield onto it if we have one. And we do. Slap. Alright. I don't expect us to go fast enough to heat up the capsule too much, but I don't want to lose anybody. Let's see. We need to decouple this thing once we get to the right altitude. And we need a tank. We'll go with the big one. Let's add a little bit more to it just to make sure we can get above 70,000 clicks. We're going to need an engine, or it's not going to go very, very far. That should be enough. Some stabilizers just to make sure we don't tip over. Tippy tip tip. And we'll make them a little bit longer. Root length. There we go. And wingspan. More. And wing angle. That'll do. That'll do. Let's see. What else do we want to play with? We do have the science module. We'll save that for another time. Maybe the next flight. Okay. We need to check our staging. Good. We'll just have these deploy at the same time. Alright. So now the question remains, who's going to be the first Kerbasnaut to go into space? The first Kerbasnaut, period. Alright, because none of them have ranked up to Kerbanaut yet. Kermanaut. I already know the answer, I just gotta find him. Drumroll, please. There he is. Jabart. Jacrispy Jabart. Hopefully he's not going to be Jacrispy. We don't want our Kerbals toasted, alright? Just their capsules. Okay, he's on the pad. Step 1 complete. Throttle up. We're just going to do this all the way. Throttle, alright? He's going to go fast, but he needs to. So we'll get him up there, above 70 clicks. Keep an eye on, this is our altimeter. We'll switch it to C. We already got a little bit of a head start here. And our apogee is how high we're supposed to get. So those are the 2 numbers to keep an eye on. We didn't even get a countdown on that one. WTF, mate. Like he's having a good time. Over halfway. Alright, yeah, we definitely cleared it. We're gonna hit 100,000. Good for you. The first Kerbanaut to reach space. He ain't there yet, but he's getting there. Wait for it. Almost there. 10,000 more to go. 6,000, 3,000 now, 2,000, and we made it. All right. Look how high we are. Look, Ma. That's what we're gonna do. Check this out. We're not gonna go all the way up to 100,000. All right, we're gonna bring it down a bit. We have some fuel to do this. See how it's dropping. All right, we don't want to go too. We don't want to do too much because otherwise we'll just start accelerating toward the ground, and that'll just make things more difficult. He's happy. You're the first Kerbanaut in space, dude. You should celebrate. Break open that Kerbal champagne. I know you brought it with you, bro. Next to your snack drawer in there. Alright, let's go ahead and decouple. Heat shield down. It's exposed. That's important. Our parachute should be armed. Back toward the atmosphere we go. And the atmosphere we are. This little graph here, this bar graph, shows the density of the atmosphere. It's still microgravity that we're in. Very little air molecules here. But we're falling toward the more densely populated atmospheric layers. And we should start seeing some heat build up, maybe around the lower end of this first one. We'll see, I'm not really sure. We're coming in fast. Soon we'll be coming in hot. We could be doing science, but we'll just save it for the next mission. How about that? When we have a scientist with us. Not that it matters in this game, but you know how I like to play pretend. Please don't pull a Jeb. Please survive. Wow. No heat at all. I guess us doing that retro burn up there helped out a lot. See, our chute should deploy reefed any second now. Probably around 4,000 maybe, 5,000. Going 275. They're not deploying. Come on, deploy. There it is. Got nervous there for a sec. Unfurrow. Ooh, look at them G's. He's still happy though. He's an experienced Kerbonaut, or Kerbo pilot, I guess. He's not that experienced. This was his first mission, actually. He's experienced now. Instead of landing and bobbing on the water, he's just gonna go straight Earth. Great success. All right. Congratulations, you are now famous. Everyone's gonna know your name, Jabart, except for me, because I'll forget it. Recover vessel. Okay, Jabart has now completed one mission, and because he went to space, he doesn't go to senior chief. All right, he goes to being the first Kerbonaut. He's now a Kerbonaut. And the color coding for that is, let's see, Kerbonaut is blue. That's how I differentiate between the different ranks. Blue. Yeah, he is now the highest ranking member on our team. Furthest he has gone is Kerbin, not atmosphere, but space. Not orbit either, but space. Kerbin space. See, his accolades will be first Kerbin in space. Period. Okay, so let's go to mission control and collect our science that we earned from this one. Oh hi, you're already back. Not only did you achieve the objective, but you did so with minimal explosions. Take that, Jeb. Jeb? That's right, turns out our new intern snuck the mean sticky note into our break room on his behalf. Really? He snuck the sticky note in on behalf of a dead guy? Or is it a different Jeb? Is Jeb a ghost? Jeb's been wanting to press our big shiny thanks science button ever since he heard it would be dangerous for someone with no button training. Legals told him he can't touch the button until he's gone through the advanced button pressing at the training center. Apparently he's channeling his frustration into tiny sticky screeds. Thanks to your efforts, we now have 3 new coffee makers from Jeb's company. Well, maybe not entirely new. There is a bit of a junkyard waste. Oh, that's a different Jeb, I believe. Jeb's junkyard. I have a bet with a few other department heads to see who can brew the strongest coffee. The winner gets a new office appliance. If I win, I'm getting a 4th coffee maker with all the works. Exciting times, Director Kev. When you're ready, come by for your next mission. I know I'll see you sooner or later, Snork. Foreshadowing. Science collected. We got 40. We're rich. We rich. Let's go spend it at the R&D center. Oh, our next missions, by the way, are buoyancy tests and orbit Kerbin. Okay. But to the R&D center we go to spend that science, burning a hole in my pocket. All right. How about we go ahead and get introductory construction out of the way? I guess we could have purchased this before, but we're purchasing it now. So we can get to these. Specialized decoupling. Oh yeah, we want that so I don't have to use 2 stacked decouplers anymore. What's this one? Basic trusses. No, we don't need that yet. Light aviation is what I really want. Get some plane stuff. I didn't like doing planes in KSP1, but it's actually quite fun in KSP2. But we can't afford it yet. So, on to the next mission we go. Let's go to mission control. Let's do the buoyancy test. That one should be easier. Land a pod in a body of water on Kerbin. The vessel recovery team wants you to run some splashdown tests. Are the pods really airtight? Pods aren't meant to sink, but then again, they aren't meant to explode either. Probably best to get out there and see what happens. All right, track mission. VAB. So let's grab a pod because we're going to need that to complete our mission. Remember, only pilots can fly the rocket, so if engineers are coming along, they have to, in some way, tag along. Now, this is what we want to do. I have this all backwards. All right, this actually goes here. This goes here. We can use a regular decoupler here. I want this one with no impulse. I don't want them really separated. If they get too far from each other, then one will disappear. He'll need a radial parachute on the bottom one here. Put it on the back side. And adjust its deploy settings. 61 and deploy a little lower at 400 should work. Okay. Let's adjust the power on this one to 40. We don't need all this fuel. We'll bring it halfway. We need fins on it. Okay. We good. Now we just need to figure out who is coming along on this mission. Again, we need a pilot and an engineer because this is a test mission. Well, we're gonna do Bill because he has seniority on the engineers. And the next pilot we have in line is Brian B. Brian B, there he is. All right, Brian and Bill, the two Bs. The BBs. BBBs. 3 Bs. All right. Enough of that. Let's do this. Okay, here we go. We're going to arc it over there to the right. Hopefully we make it. Oh, now we have a countdown. So random. I think we're gonna make it, so let's go ahead and turn SAS off and couple. Alright. We're getting kind of close to the ocean now. I don't want to do it too high up or we'll separate too much. Oh, you got that stuck on the capsule. Oh no. Open. Nice. Looks like this one's gonna be a success, boys. He's coming in a lot faster with that radial parachute. Okay. Mission control. 32 science. The vessel recovery team wants you to run some splashdown tests. Oh yeah, we already did that. All right. You floated. You kind of look like an ice cube in a big old cup of coffee. Luckily our vessels don't melt, well, at least not in water. Our recovery team was out there in full force today. Boats, helicopters, free swimming with floaties. You'd think they'd realize it's faster to use a boat than doggy paddle a vessel back to KSC. I think they just wanted to swim, honestly. Who can blame them? You blow that party favor. All right. To the R&D center to spend our science because we have enough for light aviation now. All right. Hours. Okay, Bill has completed a Kerbin-based test, so he ranks up to chief now. From specialist to chief, he completed 1 mission, and I think that's all we're going to add to him. Down to Bill we go, or I'm sorry, Brian B. He also completed a ground-based mission, so he is now a senior chief, and he completed 1 mission. Alright, into the vehicle assembly building we go because we need to return to space and do science, so that means we need to take a scientist with us. Back to the dual pod thing here, and our dual decoupler. Now we are going to bring a science module with us, which creates weight, which means we're going to want to add a heat shield to that one at least. I don't think we're going to need one on the top one, but we'll definitely add one to the bottom one just to make sure. Maybe that will also slow it down a bit, create a little more drag. And we need a utility for this bottom one. Again, we're going to add 2 just for redundancy purposes to be safe. I learned my lesson with Jeb. I don't want to lose another Carbonite if I don't have to. Alright. Slap it on the bottom here. We need a utility for the top one as well, for the pilot. That's important. Okay. So they're taken care of. We're not going to need all this fuel, but I'd rather need it and not. I'd rather have it not need it than need it and not have it. You know, let's change our color. We've had this color for quite a bit. Let's at least change the accent. Let's change to like a greenish yellow. That's pretty cool. We're not going to do the whole thing. Let's do that and that and that. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. We'll do the science module as well. Ooh, and this inner stage. Inner stage, you can't change the color apparently. I bet you can change this one. Whatever. Whatever. And then let's make the engine black. Okay, cool. Cobra. Time to choose our soon-to-be Kerbisnauts. Henson's gonna be our first scientist to go to space. And as far as pilots are concerned, it's Corsi. Corsi and Henson. Before they launch, we should check our staging. That's important. Looks like we're good. We're good. Let's launch this puppy. Alright. This is a science-based mission. All we're trying to do is collect science during this. Maybe we'll splash down over the water just to be safe. We can already collect some. Check it out later. We'll keep an eye on that so we can collect more. I love this sound. Halfway through our fuel. Look at that, that's perfect. We actually did use all our fuel, and it's going to take us up to just over 80,000 meters. We were able to do one science while we were in flight in the lower atmosphere. As soon as we break that Kerman line, we should be able to do more science. They look happy enough, at least Henson does. He's not taking his job seriously. I think he's just glad to not be forced down into the windshield that whole time, since he's facing downward. Corsi, though, he's taking his job super serially. Alright, about to plow through the atmosphere into microspace, and now we can do science. We'll read those later. You know what this also means is that we can probably do an EVA. Now, we're not in orbit, so we have a time limit till we end up falling back down. So it's very important we do this somewhat quickly. Henson is the first one to do an EVA though. Look at this guy. Alright, let's go ahead and let go. And he can't actually do, he can't do any kind of EVA experiment. He looks a little scared, frightened, / enjoying it at the same time. Alright, Let's grab before you get too far away there. And board. Yeah, no one can hear you scream, bro. You're in space, in case you forgot. Okay, we can turn SAS off. I guess that's all the science we can do for now. Are we gonna splash down or not? Let me see here. Why can't I look straight down? That's a glitch, I think. Let's decouple. Yeah, I can't look straight down in that view for some reason. There we go, I can look straight down on this one. Actually, we're not gonna splash down unless we land in one of these ponds. I don't think I tilted it to the right enough. And we'll see. To make this thing fall broadside, I'm gonna turn the SAS back on. Point it over here. Whoa. Change my view back. There we go. Maybe tilt it a little bit this way. We can probably tilt it actually to make us point more towards the water once we come back in the atmosphere. There we go. Angled a little bit, slanted there. It should take us to the left now, out towards sea. We'll see though. And once we get closer to shoot deployment time, I'll go ahead and decouple these babies. Alright, we're about to come into the atmosphere here. Actually, yeah, I think we are going to land out in the water. That's good. Man, we are speeding up, though. I think it might be best that I deploy this thing soon. Man, we're coming in fast. Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. Oh, we're going to need it. Why aren't they deploying? We lost them both. That's twice now. What's up with these bugs, dude? That's a bug, but like I said before, we're going to treat bugs like an actual malfunction in the software, in the capsule software in this case. Clearly, this game still has work to do. I don't know why we were falling that quickly. Like, that should not have happened. So Henson is now KIA. As is Corsi. That's 3 Kerbinauts we've already lost, dude. Alright, we're gonna try this again. This time I'm gonna deploy, I'm gonna decouple these capsules before they get too far into the atmosphere. I hesitate to do it because if these capsules separate too much, I think it's like 2 or 3 clicks away from each other, one of them disappears, the one I'm not focused on, and we lose that Kerbinaut. So I also adjusted the impulse of the separator because it didn't really decouple last time because of a bug in the game that we're using as an actual glitch, so we're not going to cheat around it, even though we were cheated. But I'm going to bring the impulse to 1/2 instead of 0, so there should be a little bit more separation, but I don't want too much separation again, otherwise we could lose a Kerbinaut. But we're using Arzen C as our pilot and the classic Bob as our scientist for this mission. Don't let me down, boys. Here we go. Just gonna do the exact same thing, and we're gonna head to space to collect science. kidding me? We might not even reach space. We can do some science. Oh, we're not even gonna reach space. We're gonna fall just short of it. I guess this is a way for us to test out the capsule decoupling at least, and collect science in the water as well. Man, we were just 2,000 shy from it. But you're not going to be doing EVA on this one, Bobby. Alright. To make a judgment call here when I actually want to decouple these things. Alright, I think now is good, now that we're in the denser parts of the atmosphere. Decoupling. Is this another bug for real? There's a bug with that fairing, it looks like, or with that decoupler. Well, that was another bug right there. We're gonna have to adjust these. Slowing down. Alright, so we can bring this back down to 1,000. How about that? So there's a bug with the actual dual decoupler itself, so I can't use that piece anymore. Thanks a lot, devs. You killed 2 Kerbals because of your bug. These deployments shouldn't shred these chutes, but you know, you never know. We'll find out. This one I think should open around 500 meters, I believe. Yeah, 500. Oh, look at that. So if I switch capsules, then they'll separate. That's an interesting bug. Alright. Please don't land on top of it. That'll work. We must have already done science in the splash water, so there's no science to recover. Make sure. Let's just make sure. Yep. Alright. Yeah. Now that I think about it, we did recover that science. Okay. We did get science on ascent, but other than that, this was a waste of time. But at least both of our Kerbonauts survived this. What is this? Did Henson survive? Henson survived! Guys, Henson survived! We didn't lose Henson after all. He's back from the life. We did lose the pilot, but somehow Henson survived that. Congratulations, bro. Recover. Alright, well, first things first. While Corsi is dead, Henson is not dead. He is back. He is no longer KIA, MIA. He is active once again, back from the dead. And he's gone on. Did he go on 2 missions? He's already been on 1 mission, I guess. So he gets 2. His accolade is survived without shoot. Survived space splashdown. Let's make it more specific so I don't forget. Splashdown without shoot. Oh man. Dude. And he's a Kerbonaut now. He's a Kerbonaut. Let's turn this blue. Half blue. Wow, how about that? How about that, Henson? He's a kitty cat. Too bad we can't say for Corsi. He only had one life and he spent it. Well, that's some good news to end on, I guess. I thought we lost 3 Kerbals in total, but it was only 2. 2 pilots, but it was only 2. So next time we'll probably do some aviation flying, and maybe we'll get into orbit after that. Until then, Godspeed.